Hello, this video is about Secure Network Analytics 7.5 and later Permanent License Reservation, or PLR. This license is for air-gapped networks only. An active subscription, such as flow rate license or SNA, is still required. Documentation is available but not public. Please reach out to your Cisco account team if you need the documentation. This process is for SNA 7.5 and later. There is a different process and a different video for SNA 7.2 to 7.4. Older hardware such as Dell hardware is not supported. One PLR SKU is needed per deployment. Access to the SNAM, formerly known as the SMC console or SSH, is needed. Make sure that SNA PLR license is available in your smart account before you begin. Okay, let's transition to the demo. First thing I want to show you is I'm going to go into software.cisco.com where you would normally manage your smart licenses. So I'm in my smart account, I'm in my virtual account, and this is my licenses tab. We just want to verify that SNA PLR SKU is in your actual account before you begin, because if not, you'll reach a certain point where you can't proceed, you'll have to revert back, so it's just going to be a waste of time. So we want to make sure, and it hasn't been rebranded yet, it's still called StealthWatch PLR. So you just want to make sure you have this StealthWatch PLR and you have at least one available to use. So you can see I do have one, I don't have any in use, so I am good to go with this demo. But you definitely want to make sure you come here first just to verify you can actually proceed with this process. I'm going to go into my SNAM UI now. This has been redesigned recently in 7.5, so if it looks a little different, the menu items have kind of shifted from top down to the side here. So just a heads up, it does change in 7.5, you'll have to get used to it. But we're going to go to Configure and then Central Management. And then once we're in Central Management, we're going to go into the Smart Licensing tab just to verify that this SNAM is unregistered. So you can see we're unregistered, we're in eval mode, so we don't have a license tied to this SNAM yet, so we can definitely apply PLR. So now we'll have to transition to the terminal. We're going to SSH into our SNAM. And if I say SMC instead of SNAM, it's the same. I apologize. So you're going to authenticate. Again, use sysadmin. If you've used StealthWatch or SNA for a period of time, you know sysadmin's always how you SSH or console in. You'll get the OK screen, and then we'll have the system config UI. We'll go down to advanced, and then license reservation. Again, this is a new item in 7.5. In 7.4, there was no menu item here. So we go into license reservation. You'll get a Java, a random Java hit here. That is to be expected. And then you'll get the software, the smart software licensing screen. There'll be two options here. It's pretty standard: generate code or exit. When you have this licensed, it'll basically be generate the return code and exit. So we are going to generate the request code. So hit 1 and enter. This can take a few seconds. It doesn't typically take too long. There we go. So you can see in red, that is our reservation request code. So if you're doing this on an internet-enabled box, great, you can actually just copy and paste, but this is mainly for air-gapped networks that don't necessarily have that internet access. So you're probably going to have to hand jam this. You can copy down on a piece of paper. You can transfer this to a file and then transfer that over to the air-gapped network, whatever sneaker net way you have to get it over. I am on the internet, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. From there, I'm going to go to software.cisco.com again in my smart licensing portal. I'm going to click the license reservation button, and then I'm going to paste in that code. Again, there is an upload file area here that if you've put it in a text file and transferred it, sneaker netted it over to a box with the internet, that's where you can do that as well. But the code is fairly small. That hand jam is not a total nightmare. So I have that code pasted in. I'm going to hit next. It knows based off of that code for what product it's made for. So you can see that the only option really here is StealthWatch PLR. So I will select that, and then quantity obviously is going to be 1, and you can generate the authorization code. All right, you can see that we now have the authorization code. You can download again as a file and then sneakernet it over, or you can just copy it down on Notepad, or if you're on an internet-enabled box, you can actually just copy it to the clipboard. So that's what I've done. Go back to the terminal, and you can see now we have an option for install reservation. Now, if you've gone to the smart licensing portal and you don't have that PLR SKU, this is where you're going to get kind of stuck. So you're going to have to hit number 2, cancel the request, and then go back to that unregistered state, and then wait for that SKU to be populated in your account, and then start the process over. But I do have the code, I do have the SKU, so I'm going to hit 1. I'm going to, and you do have the option to upload file here, where I'm going to copy and paste, so I'm going to hit number 1. And then you're going to paste the code that you just got and copied from software.cisco.com, and then you're going to do 2 blank lines after it. It's really 3 enters. So you're going to paste it, enter, and then enter, enter. So paste, enter, enter, enter. And then you'll see that. If you don't see that, we are processing your authorization code. You probably need another enter. You're going to sit there until you figure it out and then hit the enter. So this can take a little bit of time. Again, it's seconds. Typically, it's not minutes. If it's minutes, then, I mean, you might have undersized your SNAM or your SMC. But this should take only seconds. While I had this time, though, I just want to repeat one more time. This is for air-gapped networks, typically only federal customers. We do have documentation that you can reach out to your account team for. If you don't have that SKU in your account, please reach out to your account team so we can get it for you. There is a validation process we have to go through just to validate that you do need it, that you're a customer that is allowed to use it, and then we can give you that SKU into your account. Yeah, I can do the Jeopardy theme here as I did in the other video, but I'm hoping here it takes only one more second here so we can continue the video. I am not going to time clip it. I don't believe in time travel. At least not to the weekend. Alright. Still processing the reservation code. Again, this process is for another tidbit. This process is only for 7.5 and later. 7.2 to 7.4 did have it available. It just was available in a different process. You had root access and you had to go into an individual file on the console and go to it. Again, I do have that video. It is on YouTube. Just search SNA 7.2.7.4 PLR and you should find it. The process is largely the same. It's just now it's a menu item on that system config UI versus the old style of you having to actually type in some command line. So it's actually become easier. We've done that because we have now hardened the SNAM even further by restricting root access. You used to have in 7.4 and earlier there was root access. In 7.5 and later they have taken that root access away. And we have finally reached to the point where we are good. It says license reservation completed successfully. So there's only, again, 2 options here, continue and exit. And hit continue. You can see now the only options are return to reservation or exit. So at this point you can exit. Once you are licensed, you should know that it is licensed permanently. So if you're on a VM or even hardware, and that hardware or VM is going to be decommissioned, you should definitely come back to the box and return that PLR, or it'll get wasted. And then you'll have to open up a case with TAC, and then get that PLR released back into your account because it'll show in use. There's no way that software.cisco.com knows that that box has been decommissioned because there is no check-ins. There's no beacons out to it. So again, if you're going to decommission the VM or hardware box and you have PLR, you should definitely come in here and return your code so that when you put in the new box that you can just go right into it and install PLR rather than having to open up a TAC case. And I'm not going to show you the return reservation, but it's the same process. You're going to hit 1, enter, you'll get a code, you'll put it in software.cisco.com, and then the PLR license is returned. So I hope that was pretty straightforward. a little bit easier than the 7.2, the 7.4 process. Appreciate your time. Thanks.